Hi, guys. Welcome back to Staying in Touch. I'm your host, Mariana Villareal, and today we have another special guest. With us, we have Suzette Brian. She is a strategic growth ambassador, and today it is very important for us to understand the power of networking and getting yourself into the community and letting other people know exactly what you do. This podcast specifically is going to be for anybody that is looking to grow outside of their comfort, outside of their niche. This is a very special podcast because she has been, honestly, like this title is perfect for her because she's very strategic with what she does and who she meets and who she connects with. She's an ambassador because what she does, she believes in, and what she's part of, she could talk about it for hours. So when I was thinking of like, who can I bring on to this podcast? I'm like, oh my God, I've been trying to get her for a while. So, she's very busy. But let's talk about you for a little bit, introduce yourself, let us know, let's get everybody to know you and fall in love with you as much as I love you, and let everyone understand the importance of putting yourself out there and joining community groups and all of that. So take it away.
Thank you so much, Mariana. Good afternoon. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. This thrills my heart and my soul to connect with you and to be able to share a little bit of what I do to get in with community and to network. And first of all, I'm so excited to be part of the In Touch Financial Group now and really look forward to connecting with the team and taking our message out to the community.
Yes, I think that is one of the biggest things. It's getting things out there, for people to stay in touch with their resources, with what's available, what can I do next? There's a lot of misleading information. And so the purpose of everything that we do at In Touch Financial Group is to allow all of our viewers, listeners, people we come in contact to stay in touch with their surroundings. And so, adding you to the whole mix is just like the cherry on top. We're still working on it, but soon, probably by the time this airs, we'll be good to go.
It's happening. It's definitely happening. So,
but a little bit of background.
Sure.
I know that you have been in quite a bit of industries, but majorly in sales. Like sales has been your niche for a while. What made you fall in love with sales? Because it's something that everybody wants to do. Not everybody can do, but everybody that knows how to do it loves it. So in your sales history, what made you stand out?
Well, sales to me is an opportunity to connect with people. I love people. I love to be able to bring a solution to what they need. So that's very important to me, first of all. Second of all, it's important for people to be aware. What is your brand? What are you representing? What is it that you're doing that makes a difference? And then third of all, I like to educate. I like for people to understand why our company exists, what we do with what we have, and how they can be a part, how they can benefit from the services, the products, the portfolio, and make wise choices. So I really like to consult and find what it is that they need and make the match.
Yeah, so your strategy is not really much of, let me show you what I got and push it down your throat. It's, let me hear what you need and see if what I have can resolve that issue. And so, most sales positions, they think, no, it's, I need to tell you everything about what I do first, and then you need to say yes or yes. But I think one of the aspects that most sales reps miss is that listening and comprehending who you're talking to, because not everybody is a customer. Some are not fit for what you sell, and that's okay. And that shouldn't be like a closed door. It should be like, okay, now I understand the group that I'm looking for. And now you start going into networking and seeing who can I connect with that, one, I can benefit, and two, can help my business grow. So I know that you're very involved in the community. So tell us a little bit of background of like, how did you get into what you do right now?
Okay, I will. So I grew up in a household that believed firmly in being involved in community and being part of the chambers and getting really to grassroots level and understanding and building business up and out. And so that is not a quick turnaround. But when your time is invested correctly over a period of time, you will have those amazing long-term relationships, which is what you want your business based on. Because you want people to come back to you and create that trust with you. Mm-hmm. And you can consult with them further. And they may not need our service or our product at this time, but maybe a year goes by and they think about you and they go, wait a minute, I got to call Suzette because she has what I need. Mm-hmm. And so it's really looking at the greater picture. And so everyone that you connect with is either possibly a customer today, tomorrow, or is a cheerleader for you and is a connector. So you really need to understand the value of everyday occurrences, mm-hmm. those relationships, those people that you come in contact with, and your circle, right?
Yeah.
So you can impact. And word goes.
Yeah.
And people talk to each other. And another person may say, you know what, I've got the right person for you because this person helped me with the solution. So everyone that you can come in contact with can be added to your network. And somehow, some way, they will circle back around.
Yeah, no. And one thing that you mentioned was, some people might not be a customer, but they could be your cheerleader.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you create relationships is very important because through those relationships is where most people get referrals.
Right.
And those referrals are hot leads. Everybody wants those because the person that comes to you, they already know what you do. Somebody else already created that trustworthiness of, okay, I'm reaching out to you now because so-and-so told me you helped them, or they put in a good word for you. Right. And so how do you give somebody like a suggestion or like a blueprint of how to have these conversations without coming on as like, hey, I need money.
money. I have to close the deal, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you're a people person.
Absolutely.
And those conversations come out naturally. But for those that struggle a little bit in making connections, those relationships, how would you tell them, like, first do this, do that, and give us a little bit of your secret sauce?
I will give you. I'm going to share my secret sauce today with you and our viewers. So I think first and foremost, people want to be appreciated and they want to be validated. Mm-hmm. So let's say you're at a chamber event and you walk into a room, they do a presentation, and then there's time to network. What does that look like to different people, right? Back to what you stated, who's comfortable, who's not. So you want to approach people and be open, be curious. Ask them questions. Say, hi, I'm Suzette, and this was a great event today. I really learned this. What do you think? What do you do? And when you give someone else the platform, they love it. They feel validated, mm-hmm. and they feel appreciated that you're listening, giving our time, giving someone 3-5 minutes to let you glean a little bit about what they do and who they are is a beautiful gift. And so that in itself will give you enough time to understand, hey, this is a great person. And you may just like them, right? Mm-hmm. You want to have that positive feel. And so once they tell you what they do, and it may be someone that complements what you do, right?
Yeah.
Or that they can help you, they can become a partner, or that maybe they can be a client, a customer. So it's really starting at the basic level of creating a friendship, creating curiosity, and giving them the moment.
Yeah, because I think the world has taught us to what's in it for me instead of how can I help somebody. And if you approach any conversation with, let me hear about you, how can I help you? And in return, most people are willing to help those that helped them. You mentioned the chambers.
Yes.
What is that exactly? Because some people don't really know it or understand it or have heard about it. Maybe an elite club. What is it?
So a chamber is a wonderful opportunity for you to go and connect with other business owners. And it's also representatives of large companies. There's also mid-sized companies. There's also individuals with small companies. So it opens your pool, right, of possibilities. And you also develop these amazing relationships because what happens? We start connecting at the golf tournament. We're helping the community. Maybe we're at a charitable event and doing something together. And then you start gelling. You start gelling with other business owners. And also gives you an opportunity to go and connect with other peers and learn and develop. And so to me, it's a wonderful opportunity. I feel that every dollar that you spend at the chamber opens up your world of people, of connections. You also get to learn. You get to learn about what's going on in the business world. You get to learn what's going on economic forums. There's also opportunities to learn about our government opportunities. So it opens your world from A to Z.
So is there different types of chambers?
There are different types of chambers. There are the Georgia Hispanic Chamber. I'm an ambassador there. And so that covers the entire state of Georgia, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
And so they have a robust group of businesses, and they also have what's called a business network group. And this is part of your membership. So you get to then connect with the Gwinnett Chamber. You get to connect with the North Fulton Chamber. I'm also the representative for the business network group of the North Fulton Chamber in Alpharetta at Avalon. So as you see, those are strategic points and places. And what does that do? That opens up my sphere of influence.
Yeah.
And I get to take my messaging. I get to go and have the opportunity to speak to more people about In Touch.
Yeah. And then, so obviously this was the ones that you're part of are Hispanic chambers. There's other also by Gwinnett, by counties.
Yes.
And then how does somebody get in contact with somebody to become or join, get a membership for it? And is it something that you recommend for small businesses? Because, sometimes there's cost to these things and maybe it might not be in their budget. But, I mean, you always speak so highly of it.
Well, there is, and just to go back to your point, there's city chambers, there's county chambers, there's statewide chambers. And so I think what's important is to do a little research and to keep in mind what is it that you're trying to get across? What is it that you're trying to share with the world, first and foremost? And then where do you want to go? Do you need something that is geographically close to you? Does it matter to you? Do you mix it up and maybe do a Georgia Hispanic Chamber and then you're part of the Georgia Chamber in English? So it depends what that marketing plan is, what your setup is strategically, where you want to go. And so you look at all of that and then back to budget, which you discussed, which is very important. And so you have to take those things into consideration when you're a small business. But I think, especially when you're a small business, it's very helpful because they also help to navigate so many different challenges with a small business. Setting up, all the things that you have to do. The checklist is large, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes they don't have the guidance. And we actually, at the Georgia Hispanic Chamber, have what's called the Hispanic Business Center. And that's a 501c3. And that is a great forum for you to go to be part of classes. They have small businesses divided up in small, medium, large, and they're also based on dollar amount a year. But there you are with the peers that are in the same category that you're in business-wise. And so what happens? We grow from each other. We learn from each other. We take best practices into consideration. And so what happens to our small business? It starts to take a deeper shape, right? We become more profitable. Why? Because we're learning. We are all in a stage of continuous learning from each other.
Yeah.
And so I think there's high value there. And you also make others aware of what your business is. So you're not on an island by yourself trying to grow your business by yourself. You're growing with others.
Yeah. And most people don't really understand what a chamber does. Or, like, I didn't know until I met you. And then I heard, CEO of Alliance, Lee Duncan, talking about it too in this winter summit we just went to. Like, he said, be part of it, but actually be part of it. Don't just pay into it. Get involved with it. Get involved with your community. Get involved with, like, churches and things like that. Get out there. And what do you think makes people scared about getting into community and in a different kind of world?
Yes, and some people that's not something maybe naturally that, hey, I want to go jump in and do that. But I compare it to the gym. So the gym can be intimidating for all of us, right? Especially when we're not going.
You pay the membership.
You pay the membership, and what happens? You only get muscles when what occurs?
When you actually go work out.
Not just going. You have to do the work, right? You have to do the do in order to get the muscles, right? And now with swimsuit season around the corner, it's getting closer.
So it's just the same. It's get involved with a chamber.
Right.
Pay in.
Right.
But also put in the work.
Absolutely. And it's much like it is in life. What you're going to get out is what you put in. If you show up half-hearted, what happens? You're probably going to get half-hearted results. But if you jump in and get to know everyone, that's another trick to my secret sauce. Get to know the administration. Get to know management. Get to know the CEO, right? Why? Because the CEO knows every owner of every business, right? And that is powerful because she's also a cheerleader for you, or he is a cheerleader for you.
Yeah.
So really decide which one suits your fancy and you feel connected to. And there's churches, and there's also civic organizations. There's also charity. There's so much. So really find something that fuels your passion.
What are some of the events that happen with, because you mentioned something about a golf tournament.
Yes.
I think one time you told us something about, specifically for the Hispanic Chamber, is cafecitos, which is just little coffee. So what do these events look like for somebody that's listening? Is like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I've never heard of chambers, and then it's a membership, and I go to events, but what do these events look like? Is there extra cost to these events? Like, what am I getting myself into? Because unless they have an ambassador like you that explains everything to them, it can get a little confusing just Googling it.
That is correct, and that is true. So I'll give you an example since you mentioned the monthly cafecito. Excuse me. So it's a monthly coffee, and in that particular event, you arrive around 8:30, check in, and they usually have a great breakfast, by the way. You can fuel up for the day. So they have the breakfast. A little bit of networking occurs before the program starts. So you've got between 8:30 and 9. 9 o'clock, the chamber will begin the program. So we all sit down and we listen. It's usually a CEO or the chief operating officer gets up, talks to us a little bit about the chamber, what the chamber does, how it does it, and how you can connect and be a part. Then there's an opportunity for the sponsor, right? So you have a captive audience if you're the sponsor, and if not, you're learning something new. You're learning about this new sponsor, what they do, and your wheels are turning, right? Oh my goodness, I could use that for X and Y. And we go through what the sponsor has to share with us, and then there's a time immediately following that everyone has 40, 50 seconds to stand up, say their name, talk about their business, opportunity, right? So you get to share with that room. There's usually 50 to 60 people. So you want some warm leads? There you go.
Yeah.
So once we do that, then they usually wrap up and people are still networking and talking. Why? Because we were able to warm up during that exercise.
Right.
To go through and talk about what we do.
Yeah, and then you can just write down like, oh, I would like to know a little bit more about this person because we can maybe, collaborate with it. So obviously you understand what In Touch Financial Group does.
Yes.
Before you became part of the team, we met through marketing.
Right.
So, you understand the importance of marketing. Yes. And you can say that technically networking is a part of marketing. It's part of getting information out there from the leading source, who is the business owner. So speaking now towards maybe agents that are looking to get into the industry of health insurance, life insurance, and they don't know where to start because maybe their family and friends are like, what are you trying to sell me?
Right.
For networking, where do you think that people should start looking for groups? Because I know, Facebook has a lot of groups, but then some of those groups are questionable.
True. So you do have to be careful.
Yeah.
You do have to be careful. And I think a good place to start is sometimes we undermine our own ability to the access that we have. So you could start with your phone, your contacts. Why? Because those are people that already know you, right? So I would start there. I would then ask my friends, family, colleague that are in my phone, I would ask them to give me maybe, even if they all gave you one referral, that's a warm lead there, right? Because it's going from someone who trusts you and who can validate you. And so you start to build that list and then become part of at least one chamber. And you always have access to that roster, right? That's the other another value. The members, you have access to those members because those are other members, right? And they're looking for insurance. They're looking for ways, to protect their family with life insurance and, other products.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good place to start. And that chamber has a lot of lists on it. Has a lot of members.
Yeah.
And you might even recognize some, which is interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm part of the chamber and I still haven't gone.
It's okay because I'm going to take you. I'm going to literally come pick you up and we're going.
Yeah. We just joined at the wrong time of the year where it's our busiest. But with networking, I think one of the other things that people may have the wrong expectation is every single one is going to be a success story.
Right.
you know. And so how do you tell somebody to stay positive when they come across somebody or some networking event that didn't fit what they were looking for? Like, what should they expect to come out of these networking events, whether it's a chamber or going to Eventbrite and typing in networking events? Like, how do you tell somebody, like, hey, don't give up, look for this instead?
That's right. So, and sometimes if we don't have it immediate, we don't want it, right? There's that mindset. But when you're looking at sales, I feel like it's really important for that long term. Why? Because you're going to invest time and energy getting to know somebody. So why don't you do it more with that long-term mentality of, okay, they may not be a client customer today, but who knows what can happen in a month, right? And so when you're doing your pipeline, you're looking at, okay, what did I learn from this event? Take the business cards, go home and look through them. And sending an email, a text, hey, Mariana, it was great meeting you today at the chamber event. Would love to get together and have some coffee. You never know where those relationships can take you. I've heard of some of the most amazing stories of people that sometimes when they initially met, they were like, I don't want anything that you have to sell. Do not talk to me. And somehow, some way, they circled back around. There was a need. Something happened in their life. There was an event that happened that they're, oh my goodness, wait, I met that really great person at the chamber event. I didn't need the life insurance then, but wow, that would have been so helpful because of what happened in my life.
Yeah.
And you might just get a call and go, wow. We don't know sometimes the effect we have until time passes. So everyone that you come across, if you look at it with some positive sunglasses, they can be a cheerleader, they can be a connector, and they can be a future customer or a client. So everyone has value and wants to be appreciated and validated.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at every time I go to a networking event. I go with an open mind because I don't know exactly how it will be scripted, if you will.
That's true. Yeah. And then, you know, you don't always have to go to networking events that are in your industry. Personally, I have started to branch off into others. Like this past weekend, there was a great real estate investment seminar that my husband connected with somebody. They invited us. We went. And, you know, seeing how passionate they were about their industry. And I'm like, you guys are building empires. How are you protecting this? My mind just, like, my wheels started turning. And so I spoke to, you know, the host, and I was like, you have a great group of people. It wasn't even that many people, but they were all very passionate about what they were doing. I'm like, you have a great group, and your strategy in working all together is awesome, because sometimes you might see everybody as competition. Right. And instead of seeing as competition, the lady said, you don't know who you're sitting next to right now. Talk, because you might find that this person can help you on your next flip or your next purchase and save you tons of money, and you can help in reverse that person with another. And so I now, you know, understand a little bit more about listening instead of speaking first, and try to, like, ask the questions instead of them asking me. And maybe that's something that every sales representative, doesn't matter the industry that you're in, is start that conversation. What are 3 questions you think people should ask when trying to get the right info without giving them too many open doors? Because some people just like to pour their life out, and I'm like, this is great, but
A little too
yeah,
TMI, right?
I gotta
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
What are 3 questions that would keep them in line, but also make them feel, like you said, validated?
Absolutely. I think the first one is you want to catch their name. And so a good thing to do when you meet someone is repeat it back to them and go, okay, oh great. So you mentioned you were at the real estate event this weekend. So I think a second question would have been pertinent this weekend would have been, this is so exciting. So you're in real estate. So what got you into real estate? Now, that could be an open-ended question, right, for 3 days. But
if we don't have time, that's a great follow-up. Like, I would love to hear more.
That's
Let's
right.
meet up for coffee.
There you go. There you go. And so find out why the person is at the event. What drove them? What are they passionate about? And so people love to talk about what they're passionate about, and they love to talk about themselves, right?
Yeah.
And so you're tapping into that opportunity. So when you're hearing, you're going, "Oh wow, this is amazing." And then a second one might be something personal. So do you live in the area? So you're trying to connect with them personally, right? And then professionally. And maybe this is their third event, and this was your first one, right? So maybe going back to what you said, you can learn a little bit about how do they structure these, right? Do they include different real estate topics at each of the workshops? And what you're doing along those lines is you're forming that relationship. And I think that is what will carry in the future, is developing the relationship and getting to know them as a person, right? I think that's important because if you get to know them as a person, then you're able to talk to them about other things. Now, if you just show up and out of the gate, you're like, hey, this is what I do. You want to buy. People usually kind of go, oh, okay, great. Now I'm at this workshop and I want to get sold.
Yeah.
But it's a very different conversation when you ask them, oh, this is so great. So you flipped 10 houses. Oh, I'd like to learn a little bit more.
Yeah.
So it's that ebb and flow of the conversation.
One of the things that they were all mentioning, every speaker, because again, it was a small event, they were like, don't invest thousands of dollars into these motivational networking events that are like sold out by thousands and thousands. You're not going to get what you thought you would. And everybody is going to be very standoffish because they're like, okay, this person's just asking me these questions because they've heard what this person is saying. So what size events would you recommend for somebody starting into networking?
I think you start locally.
Okay.
And so maybe you live in the city of Norcross, just to give you an example. And Norcross has a festival going on a Saturday afternoon, and you've worked all week. It's beautiful out. You want to get out there. So what you didn't realize is maybe they had some sort of expo going down at the park, and those are all individual business owners. Right? So you have the opportunity to interface with the business owners. But it's a fun Saturday afternoon, so it doesn't come off as I'm trying to sell you.
Yeah.
You are out there supporting your local city and those business owners. Now, what is that going to do for you? On that Saturday afternoon, you just picked up 20 cards from 20 different small businesses without, quote unquote, trying, but you're connecting on the personal.
Yeah.
So that might be an opportunity that's not intimidating, if you will. Start like that, get a little more confidence.
Yeah.
And then reach back out to those 20 small businesses and say, hey, can I come by can I invite you to coffee, across the street? So that didn't cost you anything. You got a little sun. It's Saturday afternoon, and it was fun, and it was relational.
Yeah.
And relational is important.
I never saw it that way. Actually, that's a good idea, especially for somebody who doesn't have the budget to buy into a chamber or to do something. Look for local events because those local events will always have sponsors.
Correct.
And they will always have their little tent. I know it because we're the tent.
We are the tent, right?
Yeah, but nobody has ever approached us as in like, oh, I'm interested in what do you guys do? And then reach back out as to, hey, this is also what I do. And, your services could be a help to us, but I think also our services could be of help to you. And so, if a CPA was trying to partner up or like create a partnership, looking for local agents or agencies that have a book of business of all these people that file taxes because they are under the Affordable Care Act.
Right.
Who is their tax person?
There you go.
It's just connecting the dots like, oh, this real estate agent, why not partner up with a broker agency where they have a book of business of people who will most likely buy mortgage protection, or, agencies know the incomes of their clients. And honestly, all of our members have always been very open with us. They're like, hey, I'm going through this. I want to buy a house. Do you know anybody? There's always ways for referrals to come through if you were to just grow a team of networking team. And I think maybe that's the secret. Build your own networking team.
That's exactly right. And just because they are not purchasing today, there is more value to people than just that transactional sale.
Yeah.
So what you do is you armor up, right? And you start having people in, first of all, every industry. They all have to pay taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
They need insurance. And so you begin to grow that network.
Yeah.
And referral to me is one of the greatest gifts, right? And so we can also provide referrals to other people. And people remember that.
That's true.
So when they come across someone that they feel like, oh, they would connect, and this would be great for them. They also need the life insurance, right? And then they circle back around with us.
Yeah. Well, I feel like this topic can go on and on.
I agree with you. I think it can. This is
true. But it's definitely getting out there. It's definitely getting out of the comfort zone. Look locally first if you're looking to network. Search for communities and small businesses. Small businesses, I think, has evolved big time in the United States. We're all looking to support one another. There's a lot of groups for small businesses. And so this podcast was specifically to stay in touch with the community, stay in touch with networking, stay in touch with the groups that are helping the same individuals that you're helping. And within that, you can grow a team. And thank you so much for taking the time today to stop by and, teach us a little bit more about the chambers and the power of networking and how it can open so many doors to you. And you can help other people and other people can help you. And you might have not even put the two dots together. And so thank you guys again for another great episode and tuning in to this one. I will be back hopefully shortly.
And
Not take this long break like I did. And we'll have the next guest to let us know what else is out there. What else can we stay in touch with our community, our products, what's available to the consumer, to the sales. Whatever it is, we're here to stay in touch, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.